What's up, everybody? Ninth Jimmy here, bringing another Pokemon Sword and Shield competitive video, VGC competitive video. You can see my 5-head. It's like a 7-head, actually. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about Raichu. This Pokemon is awesome. It has a really great synergy. It has a couple of really great synergies that we'll touch on in a bit, mostly with Gyarados and even Mantine and Charizard, mostly because of its ability Lightning Rod, which draws in any electric type attack into itself and then raises one special attack. It's very much like Storm Drain in the fact that it's lightning and it's for electric type moves and not water. However, this is really good, actually. Raichu being able to just save a lot of weaknesses. Gyarados' quad effective weakness, the only one for it. So that is a really good synergy. Raichu into that. A lot of people have been using Raichu and Gyarados, or Togedemaru and Gyarados, which is essentially the same thing. It just has Lightning Rod. And actually an array of the exact same attacks for the most part. However, I think this Pokemon's stats are a little more impressive, and its typing is also about the same effectiveness. No quad weaknesses, not many weaknesses in general, and we'll go on about that here right now. Electric type Pokemon Raichu, just mono electric, is very good for a few reasons. First off, it has Lightning Rod, so it's immune to electric, which is really sweet. So it has an immunity. It also way more than an immunity, because it gives it a special attack raise, which is very good for its attack Volt Switch, or Thunderbolt, Thunder, Surf, whatever you want to put in on that spot. I like Volt Switch a lot. We'll talk about that more in a minute. However, we also have two resistances, Steel and Flying, which are both very prevalent in the meta. We have Iron Head going around on Excadrills, Flying attacks max Airstreams, Brave Birds, Air Slashes on Charizard, Togekiss, all these Pokemon. So those are actually two very good resistances. However, here we also have one weakness that's not the best weakness. It's Ground. Ground is everywhere. Mudsdale, Rhyperior, Excadrill, all these very strong Pokemon have good ground type moves. It's going to knock us out. Take us down to our Focus Sash if we haven't wasted our Focus Sash yet. But it's going to get us down there, and then the partner Pokemon can either double in or use something like a Dazzling Gleam from a Togekiss or something, kill off our Raichu. That's not what we want to happen. Raichu is very frail. We'll talk about its stats right now. So, as far as frail, it's not the worst, but physically it is the worst. Not actually the worst, but very bad. HP at 60. Not too bad, a little under average, not too bad though. Defense 55, that's pretty bad. I mean, yeah, it's only a little less than HP, however, that's just not amazing. We also have 80 special defense though, that's not bad at all. We can actually take a hit or two of, especially like a resisted thing, like potentially an Air Slash from a Charizard, or Max Airstream, potentially even from a Charizard, not during Solar Power, however. That'll knock us out or take us to our Sash. Yeah, not the bulkiest Pokemon, but we give it a Focus Sash for a little bit of like bulk, like a little bit, just one hit guaranteed, we're safe. It's really good to have that for a Pokemon like this with access to Fake Out, Nuzzle, and a couple of moves like that Brick Break to stop Grimmsnarl's screens. I'm talking about the set. We're in stats. 90 attack, 90 special attack is both solid. We have a lot of attacking moves, however, the main focus is going to be special attack. Switching in on that electric type attack, get Lightning Rod to proc, special attack raises a stage, and we're just like, alright, Volt Switch is hitting very hard now. Max Invested, we're just hitting really hard. Not like crazy hard, but like it's decent damage. Volt switch around, you can definitely switch that out. We'll talk about that more in a minute. Speed 110, not bad at all, actually. Very fast. We have speed tiers, so we'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, as far as this Pokemon, pretty sweet, actually, and really good synergies. And we're gonna be talking about the set, so we're gonna go ahead and jump right into the set here. Focus Sash, I already talked about it a little bit. It's not very bulky, so Focus Sash is pretty solid, giving it that one hit of leverage there. And then we also have ability Lightning Rod. Its other ability is not as good. Whenever it makes physical contact, it has a chance to paralyze. We're talking about Lightning Rod. Or that's static. This is Lightning Rod. We're running Lightning Rod, being able to draw in and deviate that damage completely. Especially good with things like the Gyarados and the Charizard, like I was saying. Covering up a weakness is very strong. With Charizard, you can run this, and even Gastrodon on your team, and then whatever threat happens, you're good other than Rock, but then you can give it like the Oka Berry or something. I don't think that's the right berry. But the Rock, super effective, have that damage berry. We're not talking about Charizard though, we're talking about Raichu. So into our moveset, we got Fake Out, Nuzzle, Brick Break, and Volt Switch. You can definitely switch out a couple of these moves. I like this set a lot. Volt Switch could definitely switch out, however. If you get that Lightning Rod boost, you don't really want to Volt Switch out. You would rather probably just Thunderbolt and then Thunderbolt again if you can get those multiple times. So that's something you could switch around with. Play test a bunch and see what you want. However, I think the other moves are very solid. Fake Out is Fake Out. You know, you hit a non-Dynamax Pokemon, turn 1, you get a free clap at something. And then if their Dynamax Pokemon doesn't see Raichu as a threat, you get a few turns with Raichu, which is really, really interesting. You get to set up a Fake Out. You get to set up some paralysis and potentially break screens, and that's very good. Nuzzle, guaranteed paralysis, very, very little damage. It does like 20 base power, which is not much, but, you know, not too bad. It's good. It's stab. It also just paralyzes, which is pretty much it. It's Thunder Wave with a higher accuracy. There is one thing that is unfortunate, though. If you run into a Togekiss weakness policy, it will proc the weakness policy, so don't do that. Don't nuzzle into a Togekiss. I know it's very appetizing to hit paralyze on it. However, it will proc the weakness policy. If you are intending to proc the weakness policy anyway, it's fine. You get to paralyze it. You get to start speed control and potentially make it not even hit you with its max power, very powerful max moves. But just keep that in mind when you're doing that. Then we also have Brick Break, which is a very solid move right now. I think it has like decent power, but it's attack, so we're not invested into attacking. We're actually timid, so we're minus attack, so we're not doing a lot of damage with Brick Break or Fake Out or Nuzzle. But Brick Break breaks screens, which is very, very useful. Being able to, in a meta with a lot of Grimmsnarl, setting up Light Screen or Reflect, and even Rotom and Dragapult, Pokemon like that capable of setting Light Screen / Reflect. I think it's actually pretty important to have Brick Break. I don't think it's imperative. I don't think you'd need to have Brick Break, but if you have a Pokemon that can use Brick Break and you don't mind using the spot like that, and I've seen Rhyperior using Brick Break and Scrafty even, so I think it's a good idea to have Brick Break on your team if you want to. You know, it's nice to be able to break through the Light Screen and Reflect and then just deal out a lot of damage, potentially kill the Grimmsnarl, and then just go ham in the team, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's that move set. We also have access to a couple of other good moves. Thunderbolt, Thunder, Surf. Thunderbolt is just constant good damage. Better than Volt Switch. It's better damage than Volt Switch. However, I like Volt Switch because it switches you out. You know, that's half the attack. And then we also have Thunder. If you're playing a rain team, you can use Raichu to cover your electric weaknesses for like Pelipper and Ludicolo, Barraskewda, all of your Swift Swim Pokemon. And then you also have Thunder, which would then have 100% accuracy in rain, which is definitely very good. We also have access to Surf, which is pretty solid. I mean, I don't know if you want to use this attack, but it's cool and notable, and I think you should, you know, keep that in mind when you can use it. Also, be careful when you're up against a Raichu. They have access to Surf, you know, so if you have like your Arcanine out or something, Surf can do a good bit of damage at special attack, so max invested, especially after a Lightning Rod, you can actually dish out a lot of damage with Surf. So keep that in mind. And then we also have Helping Hand, which is awesome. Just giving priority. Helping Hand gives plus, I think it's just +1 attack. It's 1.5 times multiplier on that Pokemon's attack, so it could be really, really helpful. And yeah, and then we also have Air Balloon right here, right above my head, right there. This gives you immunity to ground, which is very good. It's our only weakness. However, I think this Pokemon is frail enough to where I think the Lightning or the Focus Sash is most likely better. However, you can play test around with it. Air Balloon is used on Raichu sometimes, so you can definitely, you know, test around with that. Anyway, into our investments here, it's pretty basic. We just have 252 invested into special attack and 252 into speed, and then timid for plus speed minus attack. So our attacks are not going to be dishing out much damage. However, our Volt Switch slash Thunderbolt slash Thunder, if I could talk, slash Surf, any of those moves will be doing pretty good damage, and we're also trying to be as fast as possible for this Pokemon so that we can hit a Fake Out and then Nuzzles and then Brick Break potentially, and yeah, that's pretty much it for for the Raichu build. Now we've got our speed tiers here, which are notable, pretty good. We're pretty fast. Definitely pretty fast. Tim and Nature, max invested, we're here up at 178, which is pretty solid. Positive 252, 178. Only a couple of things barely outspeed us. And, you know, a lot of things will outspeed us, like all Swift Swim Pokemon, the Unburdened Pokemon, a lot of Scarf Pokemon, Scarf Rotoms will outspeed us. Dragapult, pretty much everything notable that you know is fast is going to outspeed us. You know, like everything that you're like, okay, that's gonna outspeed us. But we have a lot of things that are under us actually, which is really, really sweet. So but first off, we also have Whimsicott over top of us. This is even without Prankster. It's 182 or 184 if it's max invested, which most of them are, in Tim and Nature, which most of them are. So Whimsicott is going to be able to hit a Moonblast before us most likely, knock off our Sash, and then come in with something else as its partner Pokemon potentially. But luckily, Whimsicott is a prime fake out target, so you get to fake it out turn one. They probably either attack into the Raichu or attack into something else, and yeah, smooth sailing. So yeah, that's pretty much it for outspeeding us. Everything you would think is going to outspeed us, and then also Whimsicott, which is barely outspeeding us. We also have a couple of really relevant Pokemon under us. First off, Durant. I mean, it just got second. It just got second at Dallas. It's definitely going to rise in popularity. It's also a very good Dynamax target. And actually, I didn't talk about the Pokemon that are really good against us. However, Durant is one of them. Being able to Dynamax turn one, since Fake Out is a big part of Raichu, being able to fake out your first turn, you know, and stuff like that. Things that Dynamax don't get flinched from Fake Out. So Durant, you know, it Dynamaxes, we can't flinch it, and then it's kind of scary. So Durant also dishes out a heaping amount of damage. Very, very strong Pokemon. So keep that in mind. However, we do outspeed it, so we can hit Brick Breaks if they... Brick Break is super effective, but we're still not going to be doing much damage, like I said. But you can potentially like Volt Switch out into something that will resist the attack that's coming in, stuff like that. When 167, we have Charizard max invested, so we do outspeed Charizard, which is pretty good, unless it's Scarfed, but I don't think they're typically Scarfed like ever. Tailwind is going to outspeed us. That's another thing. Whimsicott sets up Tailwind. All this stuff outspeeds us. But we can set up Tailwind of our own, you know, and then like kind of combat that, or like potentially set up Trick Room, and then like, you know, however you want to do. But yeah, we do initially outspeed Charizard. We also outspeed Haxorus initially, which you probably think isn't like super relevant, but Haxorus is there, definitely. It has Mold Breaker, which is pretty sweet, and it has access to things like Earthquake. I think it has high horsepower, and yeah, those just kill us. So yeah, but we do outspeed it initially, which is very good. 162, we have Togedemaru and Mimikyu, both max invested. Togedemaru is kind of just a clone of Raichu. You know, it does a lot of similar things. It has Fake Out, it has Nuzzle, it has Lightning Rod. That's pretty much Togedemaru, and that's pretty much Raichu as well. So, yeah, we're going to see... that's like pretty much the mirror match, honestly. And then we also have Mimikyu, which we outspeed, which is very good. This is max invested Mimikyu. You'll see max invested Mimikyu or min invested Mimikyu setting up Trick Room. That's probably it for Mimikyu. And then we also have Arcanine, positive 252 max invested. We do outspeed that as well, which is pretty relevant. Yeah. Form change Rotom invested. Usually if it's invested in speed, it's going to be Scarfed, which will outspeed us. I still wanted to add it there because it's good. It has access to Thunder moves. Same with the Arcanine. It could have Wild Charge if it's like Choice Band. Excuse me. And all these Pokemon, you know, going into your Gyarados, Charizard, whatever you have, the Thunderbolt kills you, or it kills them. So being faster, you can come in and then absorb that with Lightning Rod, you know, Raichu things. Anyway, I did want to touch really quick. Pokemon that Dynamax early are very powerful against the Raichu because of the Fake Out, like I said. Togekiss is one of the biggest ones, in my opinion, just because Nuzzle procs the weakness policy if it's a Dynamaxing one, so that's really scary. You don't want to actually do that. And also Excadrill is immune to our Volt Switch and Nuzzle, stuff like that, which sucks. And Dragapult is immune to Fake Out, and Rhyperior is immune to electric type moves, so that's why I had those all down there. I just wanted to touch on that real quick. Anyway, into our damage calcs. We have a couple of damage calcs. A couple of them are not even of Raichu, just because, just to show off a little bit of the usage of Raichu. So first off, 252 attack, 250 max invested Raichu Volt Switch into the Gyarados kills. This is kind of like what we were talking about. Gyarados is very, very frail to electric type attacks, so bringing in Lightning Rod is very solid for that. And then to show off how powerful Lightning Rod boost is, we do, after a Lightning Rod boost, Thunderbolt. So this is not Volt Switch, this is Thunderbolt into a Gyarados. Not like Assault Vest, because you'll see Assault Vest every now and again on Gyarados. Into a Dynamaxed Gyarados. Lightning Rod boost, max invested Thunderbolt into Dynamax Gyarados, still OHKO's guaranteed, 105 to 124%. That's really, really powerful. So that's just to show off how powerful after a Lightning Rod boost is. It's like kind of similar to Gastrodon. Once you get a Storm Drain, you're kind of dishing out like a really big amount of damage, which is super good. On like a more supportive type Pokemon, it's very, very good. And then our +1 special attack Thunderbolt. This is after Lightning Rod boost as well. Into a Togekiss. This is not Dynamaxed. It is Dynamaxed? Wait. I always mess up because I forget. Raichu, Thunderbolt. This is non-Dynamaxed. That's like a lot of damage. So this is non-Dynamaxed Togekiss here. Actually, so +1, 252 max invested into a Togekiss that's like rather bulky, 236 HP. It's not even going to be doing half of their damage. So honestly, if you think that it's going to have weakness policy, don't engage. You know, if it doesn't, definitely just nuzzle it and continue that. But if it's Dynamax and Togekiss, like be very careful. Be just super cautious about it. Then our next one is uninvested Rotom. This is kind of just to show off how much damage you can do to a Gyarados, like how much damage Gyarados takes. It kills Gyarados with an uninvested Rotom. So, with a Thunderbolt. So, like, if you're using Gyarados, you can cover your Gyarados. If Gyarados is your main sweeper, if you intend to, like, use Moxie Gyarados and Dynamax it and just sweep the majority of the game, Raichu's not a bad bring, actually. And then when you see things like the Rotom and stuff, you can bring it, and then whenever you think something's going to happen, because, like, Hydro Pump is not going to do much damage to it, so it's worth to just bring your Lightning Rod Pokemon as well. And it's really good for covering that. And then we also have our last one. This one's very, very obvious, I think. This is even Dynamaxed Raichu, and it's killing us with high horsepower. Max invested, obviously, but without like Choice Band or anything, into our Dynamaxed Pikachu or Raichu, like it's still almost 2 times kills us. So yeah, that's why we're using Focus Sash instead of Air Balloon, for pretty obvious reasons. I think Focus Sash is definitely better in my opinion. Anyway, that's going to be it for today's video, Raichu video. We're at like 18 minutes, so if you're still here, thank you so much for watching. Leave a like and subscribe if you like this kind of content. Go down in the comments below and say any guy that you want to see in future videos and future battle videos, whatever you want. Definitely say that. So thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe, and goodbye. Thank you.